Everyone's hometown, or any hometown you visit to, should have 3 key people in. These people are Harry. Over, like, this is just, you can place these guys wherever you like. You can place everything within here, like, whatever you want. Think of it like a little mini theme park world or something like that. Marsha and Gaspard. Now, the way you talk to Gaspard is that he runs the binding shop. So he's the one where you make all weapons, armor, etc, etc. However, if you are starting from the first game, you need to go so far in the story to actually unlock the option to start binding stuff. But if you start or import from White Knight 2, you can use Gaspard immediately. So let me show you an example. So with Gaspard, you can bind anything, pretty much, that is bindable. But there's 2 things you need. You need to have the correct member rank at the bottom. So you can see I am a rank 18. Now, you get ranks by donating stuff to Gaspard or the binding post. So your member rank is locked at level 14 until you actually start binding stuff. So to change the system from the old game, some of you may know that. So you can donate up to level 14, and then after that you need to actually start binding stuff for Gaspard to allow you to donate more, and then your level will go up. I believe the max level is 20 for the binding. I am not sure, but let's say we want to bind a weapon. You have weapons like level 8, 22, 38, 70, you know, it goes up and up and up. And there's more different weapon types in this game. So you have short swords, which go through swords, daggers, and axes. All have varying speeds, all have more attacks, higher attack damage. Some are faster, that kind of thing. Next, you got the long sword. You have 2 distinctive types. You have the actual, like, massive blade type of stuff, and you also have the katana type of blade as well. There's really no noticeable difference. Hello, Vengeance, if you're on my channel, there you go, you get a little shout out. There's also axes. Axes have been delved into axes and cudgels. Cudgels being the forms of more like hammers and stuff, and you have axes, which, you know, are axes. Next you have spear. But yeah, depending on your binding level, depends on what stuff you can make. At the moment, all this stuff that is available to me to make is too overpowered for me. Like you see this level 80 GR25. I'm only a GR18, so I couldn't wield that anyway. So that are requirements for that. Also, there's the bow. Again, same kind of stuff. And you have wands and staffs. Armors are pretty much same philosophy, except now it's split up into light, medium, and heavy armor. So the first part of the armor section, so this at the moment I am in the torso part. The first section of the armor system will be light armor. So let me go a bit further down. Here we have light. The first section will be like cloth robes, so you move faster and that, as I mentioned somewhere before. Next you have light. And over here you have the heavier armor, which, you know, differences are pretty minimal, other than, you know, the main ones you want to grasp at first are the lighter the armor, the less defense, more resistant to spells. However, you know, you're also going to be faster, so it all depends on your class. If you're more of a balls to the wall type of class, you're just going for sheer damage output, putting on lighter armor will also help your damage output out dramatically. One thing that also happens in this game is that armor pieces now stack together perfectly. What that means is, in the first game you needed to mix and match in order to increase, stat input to maximize damage or defense or whatever you're going for. It might be health. So let's say, you know, let's pick something else. So let's go with the Grand Arm guys. See, they give me 35 health right at the gate. So let me try and find the body. That also gives me 35 health right at the gate. So all this armor stacks. 35 health. 35 health. And also there's shields. Shields also make you slower, but you may want them if you can wield them, that is. Only one-handed weapons can operate a shield. Also a spear also operates it. Okay, now let me tell you what Marsha does. Marsha, you can buy weapons from Marsha depending on what level you are and how far you are through each story. So the further along the story you are, the higher the level of the weapons you're able to buy. Peaking at 50 when you beat the game. you know, is a couple of them items right there. Same as for armor, except pretty much when you go online, the armor becomes pretty worthless. Of course, it says like, you know, my defense goes up by 6 by light, but that's heavy armor, so it's not much of an improvement. Armor also has a distinctive different colors, and of course, they also have different attributes. So let me show you an example of. Let me see someone I have. So you got Aris's Gloves, for example, that gives me resistance to paralysis. So I'm less likely to get, you know, less likely to get paralyzed. As you can see, here's the stat screen. It's largely similar to the first game, except you now see within the XP level, there are caps between GR and whatever. Alright, so you can, I think the lowest or the highest you can get when you first start the game is 60. And then when you get to, I want to say, GR 16, you are capped to 65. Not 65. Actually, I think up to GR 15, you are capped at 50. 16, you can go to 55. 17, you're capped at 60. Well, you can't be. I don't know. I think you're already capped at. I think you're capped at 70 until GR 19. That's all I know for this moment. I don't know the other caps. But imagine when you're GR 19. Actually, when you are GR 19, your cap is then 75. And then when you're 20, your cap is then 80, which is top level. Just if anyone was curious. Also on the right, you can see my stats or whatever. And this game so far, in my experience, is not as stat heavy as the first one. You can also see the different elemental resistances, plus is being, you know, I'm more resistant against that stat. Also here I can equip my Incorruptus or Knight, which I'm going to go in now. Alright, here's my Knight. I haven't really changed anything. I need to give him more armor, which I get by doing different stuff, by going through rifts, you know, which are located in the story, but only after a certain point when you actually unlock the Knight. So I gave him a hammer. Gems are like in the first game where you pick them up along the way and you can give them to your Knight. Now you see on the left those core unit level and unit artifact points. What these are is that when you go to Marsha, you can go to Incorruptor's workshop. She will allow you to bind stuff similar to Gaspard. So you know, I can get bigger hammers and that kind of stuff. So Grand Spear, more shields. You know, that kind of stuff. Also can make armor for the Knight, but that's relatively hard to do, so it's better to find it earlier on than before. You can also make gems as well. Colors I'm unsure about. I'm still GR 18, and if I go to Gaspard and let me try and bind an item here, it's only the same 4 colors, which if you look in the bottom right, it'll be light green, darker green, and even darker green. So that's why my Knight seems pretty bland. Okay, now to go over to Harry. Online, Harry also has the ability to access the Adventure Guild. But first, his main task, like in the first game, is the general store, which you can buy general potions, items such as a ward chime, which can cure people of silence, which, you know, gives you, well, if you are silenced, like most games, you cannot actually cast spells. Also, Harry sells pearls up to a higher level this time. Every time you increase a GR, a new pearl will be available for you to buy. Same with pebbles, orbs, elemental things. Oh, if you didn't know what these were, Guardian and Chromium. Chromium pearls are used to level up your weapon. Guardian pearls are also used to level up your armor. By doing this, you get stat benefits. Also, with using the two, you need them to upgrade a core unit. So I think my core unit's level 6, so I need level 9 pearls from each. I think I need 5. So my Incorruptus gets more points to spend on, you know, equipping armor and also equipping weapons, gems to increase the power and stuff. Also, if you didn't notice on the screen before, actually I'll show it you right now, is that if I go into my combat setup, equip my Incorruptus here, you can see the stats on the right, and I can simply well, you can see on the right, the Incorruptus is pretty much resistance against any type of stats, like poison, paralysis, sleep, and silence. So that means they cannot be silenced whatsoever. and you can pretty much see that. Like, say for example, the knight's vitality 302. You go to mine, it's 104. I'm not sure about the stats, but in the old game, it was about, well, actually now, strength is your main modifier for melee attacks and bow users. Unless you're a mage, then your main modifier for damage is intelligence for, you know, casting spells and stuff. I still think vitality is how much damage gets knocked off from an enemy attack. Also in the top, that's more of an abbreviated way of saying it. Attack is generally, I'm unsure, but you know, the higher it is, the better. Defense is how much damage in total gets knocked off from you. This accumulates your vitality with your defense score. Magic is your strength in the magic field, and resistance is how much damage gets taken off from spells to you. Intelligence usually reflects on, as I said, magical damage. Spirit is how much healing output you can do. Agility is your likelihood to get hit or not. The higher it is, the less likely you are to get hit. And Dex is simply how likely you are to hit a target.